Currently, the occupiers' army cannot conduct their own offensive operations, their Ministry of Defense is publicly lying, and the Ukrainian army, meanwhile, is advancing further on the front. The main battle for height 190.8 continues in the Svatov section, near the village of Novoye Horivka. The Russians managed to take a couple of positions near the height. The Ukrainian armed forces are destroying both equipment and manpower here, but the Russian occupiers may again bring in reserves from the territory of the Russian Federation. In the Bakhmut sector, the Ukrainian armed forces have almost completely cleared Klishchiivka. The occupants now occupy 1.5 streets in the village. We are currently clearing them. The village of Klishchiivka is a key point that will allow us to take fire control of another part of an important road that the occupiers will use to supply Bakhmut. Bakhmut will be surrounded by the Ukrainian armed forces. After that, it will have to fall to Andriivka and Kurdyumivka, from where the Ukrainian army will be able to use the heights to advance on Horlivka. In the Avdiivka sector, near the village of Opitny, the enemy was pushed back. The city of Donetsk, occupied since 2014, is just over 2 kilometers away. Heavy fighting continues in the Zaporizhia sector near Novoprokopivka and Verbov. Ukrainian forces managed to advance west and south of the village of Robotyne. Russia has deployed its most combat-ready airborne units there. This may limit the occupiers' ability to advance in other parts of the front, according to British intelligence. According to the Institute for the Study of War, the occupiers are adapting the deployment of electronic warfare systems, increasing the production of laser-guided projectiles, Krasnopil, and drones, Lancet, to improve the accuracy of fire. Recently, the Russian Ministry of Defense also stated that over the past 3 months of the counteroffensive, Ukrainians have lost 66,000 troops and 7,600 tanks and armored combat vehicles. Now imagine a huge number of 7,600 tanks and armored combat vehicles standing in a single line. Now, to place all these tanks between the village of Robotyne and the initial contact line, more than 4 kilometers away, would require more than 10 rows of destroyed vehicles. Over the past 3 months, the Ukrainian army has used attack UAVs to destroy 1,280 pieces of enemy military equipment, including 246 tanks. It seems that the Russian Defense Ministry is trying to overshadow its own losses of equipment, as well as to hide its inability to hold the second line of defense, which was recently broken through near the village of Verbov. Russian troops were not allowed to retreat. The captured occupier said that when his unit decided to retreat, their own artillery started firing right behind them, creating a wall of fire in their backs and forcing the soldiers to stay and fight for their positions.